Oscino Fly, back with another review. This time we are reviewing The Boys Season 4. Yes, we are in Season 4 of The Boys, and I'm going to cut straight to the chase with this one. The Boys has been one of my favorite shows since its inception. I've been loving the writing, I've been loving the casting, I've been loving the way they've been telling the stories. I never really looked at the comics, but I did get a glimpse of the comics, so I kind of know how the comics end. I will say this, from what I've been told, the show has definitely been better than the comics, and that's usually rare because usually the comics are so good that the shows needs to get it right. But this one, it's actually vice versa. The show is usually good, and the comics is, I'm not gonna say bad, but the comics could be better. But since the comics has already been written, you know, it's gonna have its say. But as far as I'm concerned, I've been loving The Boys ever all through and through. Now, what do I think about Season 4? Season 4 was a bit rough, but it got to its conclusion to where I feel like it needs to get to an ending. Because if y'all don't know that The Boys 5th season will be the final season of The Boys, and as a person that likes shows that end, I'm happy for that. I think it did run its course, and I feel like most shows when they usually, you know, last long, at least for like 10 seasons, sometimes it's just a bunch of filler. I like shows that have like 5 seasons, and so that just get to the point and tells your story and ends. Like Pose, I've always said Pose has been one of my favorite shows, and that only had 3 seasons, but even then I said, yeah, about three or four seasons, but I always said it told a story and then it went home. Didn't it drag on? And a lot of people say, oh, it could have had one more season. I said, maybe so, but it told a story and then it went on. And to this day, it's still one of my favorite shows. Same thing with The Boys. The Boys has been good. Invincible has been good, but this season, I will say this, it was kind of a mixed bag. There was it started off rough. And the only reason it started off rough is because of the B stories. The one of the big, which I thought, depending on how you break it down, some is needed. I felt like the Huey story was needed. I know a lot of people might disagree with this because they didn't care. I think Kamiko's story, aka the female, was needed, but I felt like it was just told very terribly, in my opinion. Because I don't even know if that just ended. Now, the Huey story, because I feel like that progresses their relationship with Annie, aka Starlight, and Huey's relationship. That I feel like, because she's depressed, she doesn't have her powers, or she's like back in and out with her powers, and you know, Huey's just there by her side, you know, just being with her. The Kamiko story is the same thing. It's like you get to know about her background, where she comes from, why she stays mute. I feel like that was very interesting. Now the bad thing, and I hate saying this, but at the same time it does need to be said, Frenchie's story. Now again, it's not because he's, you know, having a relationship with a man, but I'm going to have to also say that is one of the worst stories they ever brought up when it comes to stories. Why? Because one, it was very forced. Now, I don't remember Frenchie ever being with a dude. I'm not saying that he's never been with a dude. I just don't remember him ever being with a dude. So to me, that felt forced. Secondly, it wasn't needed, because the way season 3 ended with Kamiko and Frenchie, you would have thought they would have got together then, and they would have been doing the couple thing then, that's what I was kind of expecting coming through. It's like they'll be acting more like a couple. It didn't really happen until the final episode. And I'm not going to go through this by episode. I'm just going to review this thing overall, just so you know. The affair with Colin, the guy that he was with, it just really didn't feel right. I felt like no chemistry was really there. And again, not because I saw some quote unquote gay shit on TV. It was just not needed. It was just like, why is he going through this? Why are we going through some extra story that no one will fucking care about? And to tell you the truth, no one really did care about. And to be honest, Fritchie really didn't even need to be in a relationship with the guy. You could have been like, yo, that's just someone I killed their whole family in the past. Y'all could have been just like bros or some shit like that. You didn't even have to be fucking motherfucking couples. Which was, I'm not gonna lie, it threw everybody off. I'm pretty sure, because it was just like, what? It felt out the blue. And which is one of my pet peeves in TV shows, because Bel-Air does this a lot, and that show with Tate Davis is a head coach for a football team, does this a lot. There's a lot of forced angst. It's like you gotta force a problem in there just to have a problem when you really don't really need a fucking problem. I hate that. I hate when people do that in TV shows. It's just like, oh my god. And even this one with Annie and Huey, where like, spoilers alert, there was a shapeshifter, and the shapeshifter was pretending to be Annie, and they was having sex all through and through. And like, she was really mad about that. She was mad at Huey, but Huey thought it was her because it looked just like her. And not only that, it was acting like her, it was doing all the quirky things that Annie did. So he really didn't know if it was her or not, which I understood. You know, she's a woman. Let me stop that. But he ended up catching on that the shapeshifter was not Annie, because you know her or some shit like that. But she, like I said, she was going through depressions and all that, and a lot of things where she was just going through, where she was just having no powers. I didn't even have the story about her not having her. I didn't have a problem with her not having her powers most of the time. I don't remember why. I might have to refresh on why she doesn't have her powers, but I didn't even mind that one as that story, because I feel like I think a lot of those superheroes will probably go through that, where like your powers just don't work for some reason. But it was fun. The Butcher story, I thought it was cool. The Butcher's him dying, and then he's still kind of sort of a soup, and a weird soup, but a soup nonetheless. I don't want to spoil that because it comes through in the ending. What else? Oh yeah, just to finish it. Yeah. Just to finish up, I don't like forced angst. I really don't. I really just I hate when TV shows force a problem, and it just, to me, it slows down the show, and then, like I said, it leaves people confused with it, or they just don't care, which I feel like a lot of people have. Now, there is positive things. The show has still been doing what the show does, is high notes, the weird shit, the weird awkward stuff, the Firecracker, the new characters they brought in, like Firecracker and Sage, they're really good. I really do like Sage. I really like that she is the smartest person in the world, and she acts like it. And not only does she act like it, because I feel like the smartest person in the world will act arrogant, but it's just like fearless. It's just like, okay. And then I like the fact that she was just planning things, and it all coming down the plan. It's just like, it's breaking down. But she also has to deal with Homelander's ego, which by the way, Homelander has been carrying the show since day one. And I'm gonna get to Homelander soon, but let's just say Homelander's been carrying the show since day one. But Sage is definitely a sidekick for him, someone that he needed, someone that he would listen to, that is smart, and she proved that throughout the whole show. And it's something. It's the thing about Sage is like, she's not really evil, but she's just working for someone evil, and it shows like how much an intelligent person could really control the masses. if she really wanted to. Like, I can really run shit if I really could, and she proved that. Like, I can have the world doing exactly what I want to do as I plan it if I really wanted to, and she's proven that. So a lot of things with Sage is that her talented. Firecracker to me is your standard right-wing conservative, all about Jesus, all about, you know, the families and everything. Like, she followed that stereotype to a T. That's all she is a walking stereotype of that person, and that person did well with that, even to the point where her sucking up the Homelander, it's just it's just to a T. It's just something that I feel like that character really grasped onto it. Also, there's a lot, some of like the awkward, gross stuff. There's a lot of that. Trust me, this, like, you're not getting away with that. If you're watching The Boys, you're gonna see a lot of that. Some of the death scenes, you're like, oh my god. Some murder scenes you're gonna be surprised of, which I also don't want to spoil. But also Victoria Newman is, I like her, but let's just say I feel like she could have been utilized more. But I liked her as that fear trigger, like, is a will they, won't they? But instead of like love, it's more or less will they, won't they, or will she, won't she kill the boys? Because she at any time could blow their heads off, but she didn't. And it was just one of those, when is she going to do it, and why hasn't she done it? I still don't even know why she's bulletproof, but I noticed that most of the sevens are bulletproof. Like, and I guess that's what the compound V does, is makes them bulletproof and some shit like that. I started noticing that because a lot of those people, they was taking bullets, especially Black Noir, the new Black Noir, which was taking a bunch of bullets, and I liked him too. I thought he was funny because, you know, every team was trying to grasp the character of the old Black Noir, and you could tell he was just not getting it, and he was just not understanding, and it was really messing with his head because he's an actor, and he was just the whole time he's complaining, and everybody's just like, just play your fucking role, and it's just like he's really trying to get answers, and the only one that really gives him the answer is the Deep, and the Deep. He is forever going to be hated by people. Like, whether he has a redemption story or not, there's people that are just going to hate him or whatever. He's very hateable, and he's just because he's a moron. Like, you would think he is one of the smartest, or, you know, although he's the king of the seven seas, he's a fucking moron, and he's a fucking and the way it just balances out. Although he's strong, he's a fucking moron, and it's just like, and he's a sucker, and it's A-Train, which everybody was always hated. Now he gets his real redemption story as well, and I feel like a lot of people are, you know, going to like A-Train, but I'm spoilers alert. He didn't die. I thought he was gonna die this season. He didn't die. I also saw Will Ferrell, and it was just like the whole Train and A-Train thing, and I'm not gonna lie to you, that looked like an interesting movie. Even though they did the whole white savior stereotype and all that, and like his actual brother out, and them talking about, oh, he's never really saved nobody. And then when he actually saved somebody, and the kid like smiled, and he smiled and made him feel good. My whole thing was, A-Train didn't die, but I was always worried that A-Train would die. Ashley is always like, I be feeling sorry for Ashley, because it's just like, because that last season epitomizes Ashley. It's just like, last season epitomizes Ashley, where she was like, this place made her a monster, to where, and I think that's the whole universe, is like, everybody's a monster, whether they're superheroes or not, everybody's a monster. And it really has taken a toll on Ashley, and to the fact where she was about to get killed, and she takes Compound V, and we don't even know what's going to happen with her. But a lot of things is going to be starting off, and also Butcher and Homelander. But I'm gonna start with Butcher. Like, because these are two people that they're basically the main characters and they're still carrying the show. Now, Butcher, like, you would think he went from going on his deathbed to having schizophrenic exercises. Like, all his side stories work. The dying, the wanting to save Ryan, the schizophrenic exercises, still trying to figure out how to do his fucking job, whether it's to be a good guy or whether to be a bad guy. Everything doesn't work, and it keeps it captivating. Carl Urban has done an immaculate job as Butcher to a point where it's just like, yeah, no one else can play Butcher but this character. And I feel like even though he's going to do other movies, they're going to be like, oh shoot, there's Butcher. There's going to be. And the same thing, I'm going to go with Anthony Starr, Homelander. Homelander has been carrying this show since its inception. Homelander has been carrying the show. He's probably going to be going down one of the greatest villains of all time when it comes to TV shows. Homelander will be one of the greatest villains of all time when it comes to everything he does. It's just like you either wonder what the fuck he's gonna do. You're wondering if he's gonna snap. You're wondering if he's going to just crash out. Because there's been a couple times where you watch this season, you're just like, this motherfucker's gonna crash out. And he has his little crash out moments, but he hasn't had the super crash out moment. To where I felt like he was going to literally crash out. But again, since Sage Plan went exactly like it meant to, he doesn't really have to crash out. And now the last season, leaves me very interested in what's going to happen. But Homelander is just, my God. Even like going back to his side story about how he grew up in a lab, and the lab people tortured the fuck out of him, and he ends up getting revenge on that. Like, even that, it was just, that was a horror movie. It was just, it was so awkward, it was so horrible, but it was so perfect. It was perfect. Just like Homelander would say, it was perfect. Everybody's skills. If I can find that meme, I can put it in here. But the whole Homelander, it was perfect. It definitely described that. Overall, even though it was a mixed bag, I did enjoy watching it because it had its bumps, it had its hiccups, and then it cleaned itself at the end. Like the stupid side stories, they got them out the fucking way, and the side stories that matter, or the main story that mattered, they definitely wrapped that up to a point where you're excited for the 5th and final season. So I give kudos to this show for its damn good, amazing writing, its damn good characters, and just overall just an experience where you're just like, I want to know what the fuck happens next. And season 5, you're definitely gonna wonder what the fuck happens next. And I'm excited about that as well. So, go watch it. If you haven't watched The Boys, go watch The Boys. And also, if you haven't watched Gen V, which is also really good, you don't really need to watch it to watch The Boys, but go watch Gen V. Because I feel like there's gonna be something about that you're gonna be left out unless you gonna watch Gen V. Go watch The Boys. It's definitely one of the better shows on TV, one of the streaming networks. It's definitely something worth watching. So go ahead and enjoy yourself and watch The Boys. And y'all let me know what y'all think. For those that already watched The Boys, how do y'all feel about it? Let me know in the comment section. Till then, my name is Oscino Fly, and I'm out. Peace.
Fancy ass man wear glove of rings, flying around town in a tub of wings. Found out how to make love to fiends. He mixing that fudge with the drug of dreams. She too teenage to have a drug of choice, but she fuck with that Royce like she love Detroit. She rollin'. Pharaoh.